What is going on, miners, and welcome back to the Hobbyist Miner channel. Well, remember the mini box miners? Oh man, they were like the hype of the town. Everybody, I remember it was like a year and a half ago, maybe 2 years ago. I remember when they came out with the mini Doge miner. Oh my word, and that was like when Doge was pumping and Elon was all about it. And oh my gosh, man, I remember those things. I remember like hiding out on Goldshell's site and trying to get my hands on one as soon as I could. Remember those days? Any of you guys do that as well? I'd love to know. Leave a comment down below. Do you currently have any mini box miners? Let's see. Have you sold your mini box miners? Or do you still have them running? I'd love to know. Leave a comment down below. But in the meantime, let's take a look at the ones that I currently have and what I'm doing with them. Alright, so here is what I have. Take a look at these here. We got quite a variety. And they're actually spaced out based off of what they actually mine. These are actually the newer ones, the new Box 2 miners, you know. They're pretty much the big brother of those guys over here. And I'm going to be honest with you guys, I'm not running any of these right now because they're really not profitable, or last I checked. So let's see what we have here. So let's scoot over on the end. Here's my oldest ones. Here's actually the first one I got. This is the 𝐓𝐴 mini Doge miner. And man, I remember getting this thing, like the RGB lights on the front and stuff like that. Man, I love this thing. Wireless as well as wired, 1 6-pin. This thing was awesome. And then we have two more of the mini Doges that you guys can see here. The exact same ones. If you guys remember, like, you'd try to get one, but you didn't know if it would be RGB or if it would actually have like the etchings on the side for like 𝐕𝐢𝐝𝐞oin or any other ones. This was like the early Goldshell days, and I remember that, and that was such a challenge to not know what you would actually end up getting once it arrived. Oh, that always drove me nuts. All right, so moving down the line here, what is this guy? Do you guys remember the Goldshell S boxes at all? So these Starcoin, and I came to this one late, and I remember getting this one. I think this was one that I got from a sponsor early on my channel, and I was like, what is this thing? What is Starcoin? I remember Red Panda Mining talking about Starcoin, and I ran that for the longest time. The nice thing was, and I could probably get by actually plugging this in now that I think about it, I think it uses something crazy. We'll look, but I think it was like 60 watts. Like completely different from the rest of these that were, what, like 100 or 200? I can't remember. We'll take a look. But yeah, not working. Don't have this one on right now. I don't really have the power right now, nor do I have the space, but I am going to look today, and we're actually going to look together to see what these actually realistically do right now when it comes from a profit perspective. So we'll come back to you, Starcoin. This guy, this is a Goldshell handshake. This was another one that I purchased early on, and Handshake really hasn't had a lot going on with it. I know some of you guys are really big, like Handshake diehard fans, and some of you guys I know I talk to have a boatload of these models out there, but this is the same situation here. Now, this definitely uses a lot more power. All right, moving down the line, what do we have here? So this is the Mini Doge Pro. So it pretty much was like taking your Mini Doge, but getting more hash rate out of it. And I think it was a little bit more watts. And I remember this one here, I wasn't buying L3s then. I wasn't looking at the L7s. They were so far out of reach for me. And these were at least within reason. I feel like they were like $500 or something like that, or came in cheaper. So the Mini Doge Pro, that was like my stepping stone. I was hooked on Doge, on script mining. If you guys aren't familiar, even though these are called Doge miners, they actually script mine, and you get paid out in Litecoin or Dogecoin. All right, so this was my first Kadena box. This is the KD Pro, and I was hyped for this one because I finally had an opportunity to start mining Kadena. And I actually ran this one for well over a year, but when the market changed and the cost to run any of these, of course, went up with just electric rates, and then I remember, what was it, the KA3 came out and just blew this, like, if this thing had any chance, that thing came out and just blew this thing entirely out of the water. So now we move into newer ones here. So these are Mini Doge 2s, and these units, man, they were so short-lived, weren't they? Like the Mini Doge 2s, I mean, even from the get-go, were just not super profitable. They used a ton more power. You couldn't even call them mini box miners anymore. I mean, you really can't. I mean, they call them like mini Doge 2 and everyone calls them like the next generation of the box miners. But these use so many more watts and they're not actually that profitable. I swear they just have like a few more. I think you can actually look in the back. Yeah, like they have 2 massive like boards in there with like massive heat sinks in there. They're just not profitable. I think these were an entire oversight on Goldshell's part. I mean, theorizing, I think they just had a ton of chips left over and they were looking to move inventory. Now, the KD Box 2s, these actually had some legs behind them when they first came out. They were actually doing well profitability-wise, even during the bear market. But then, like this guy down here, the KA3 came out, and I honestly feel like I owned this for like less than 3 months before we ended up powering them off, because the KA3 came out and like the network hash rate went through the roof and the profitability went to 0, if not negative, which was such a shame. Like, I've wanted to stack Kadena for such a while now. And then finally on the end here, the CK Box 2. This one, very similar fate when the K7 came out. The K7s came out. What are you doing, Bitmain? I mean, man, home miners, we were singing with these little boxes because these are great. I mean, these don't use that many watts compared to those massive miners, and they don't cost that much. But yeah, CK Box 2, same fate that it ran into with the K7. Oh, I forgot. These actually have like a little decal. They went away from like the etching of the 𝐕𝐝 coin ones, and they went to these little like creative decals, significantly cheaper, I bet. But we have all of these, right? They're just sitting around. But one thing I came across was I entirely forgot about this. All right, so I actually got this around the same time, I think, as like the CK box here. But at that time, as things started to fade, like all of these miners ended up having issues with like overheating or challenges and stuff like that. And then the profitability just went to 0 on all of them. So I remember getting this and a while back looking at it and not even bothering with it. Now, this was a sponsored product. It did come from the team over at Coin Mining Central. So huge shout out to them. And apology to them, just to the fact of like totally just writing this thing off. So this is the Goldshell SC Box 2. And it's actually still sitting in the box here. And I haven't done anything with it. And somebody the other day actually hit me up and they were like, hey, you know, I'm looking for box miners. I was actually really surprised. And I was like, oh yeah, I got some, but I'm not really looking to sell these. Like, I'm actually looking to like hold on to them and either sell them during the next bull run when profitability returns and maybe there's some scarcity and some value to the hardware, or get mining with them again when I have the power and the watts. But yeah, this is the Goldshell SC Box 2. This actually mines 𝐸 which I don't have anything. Now, this guy down here, this is the HS box. This one, you actually can do 2 different methods of mining. You can mine handshake or you can mine 𝐸 on it. This one actually with 𝐸 actually does significantly better. And somebody teed me up the other day asking if I had one because the profitability on them was surprising, and I was like, oh shit, I had this thing sitting in a box and haven't been missing out on profitability. So let's go ahead and I'm going to jump over to the computer and I want to take a look at some of these with you guys to see just where they are today as of July 2023, where realistically with power rates are, what my power rate is, and then let's look at this guy to see if I've been missing out and making a mistake. All right, so let me show you guys a little bit more about the SC Box 2. We'll take a look at it real quick, and then I want to take a look and see if it's even profitable anymore. And then we'll look at all the remaining other mini box miners we got to see where they stand as of today, which I talked about was July of 2023. So over on Coin Mining Central, if you come here and go to Goldshell, and it actually is right here at the top. So this is the SC Box 2. And right now it looks like, let's take a look here and see. So they are in stock, surprisingly. It's 1900 gigahash at 400 watts. Man, these things. Now, granted, you can go with their low power mode, which is going to be 260 watts, which is a little bit more on par to the mini ASICs. And that drops you from 1.9 down to 1.45. But as we talked about, 𝐸 is actually what this mines. I don't have any. I don't know if any of you guys do, if you guys have mined in the past
definitely go out and take a look. You can get them over here on Coin Mining Central. If you are interested, I do have a $120 discount code, so I'll drop this down significantly if this is a project you're interested in. But do your homework first. I'll put a link directly down below. So let's talk about profitability of this unit specifically, because I've kind of surprised and kind of been missing out. So over on mine, the ASIC, we have the SC2 box up and running. It actually makes per day $1.20 a day. Now, electric, because these things use 400 watts, brings it down to only 24 cents per day. And that's on 10 cents. Now, I'm super fortunate at my house here with my mining shed. If I wanted to get it up and running, I'd be down to 7 cents, which ends up being 53 cents per day in profit. So I'm like, man, how long have I had this thing sitting here and just assumed and just kind of completely glossed over it? Now, at my new shed, if you guys aren't familiar, I'm building a second shed at my electrician's house, 5 minutes down the road. We're working together, collaborating on it. We were able to find a deal that only lasted about 12 months with the electric provider, kind of abusing it a little bit, but hey, we'll take it. If we will, I shouldn't say if, we'll have over 20,000 watts being used there. We'll actually be down to 4 cents, which will put this thing at 82 cents. So like, I think I'm going to run this thing. I think I am. I think we're going to run this when we get the shed up and running. But 4 cents are like unheard of, doesn't exist. I'm a unicorn situation. So I really need to look at this from a 10-cent level. Even 10 cents is not really the norm anymore. 15, let's be honest, 15 cents is really the norm when we come down to it. So let's look at some of these other miners that we have sitting behind us that are literally just collecting dust on a shelf. So the original mini Doge at 10 cents kilowatt hours, it's still it's negative 19 cents per day because it's using more electric than it's actually making, which is so painful with these guys. Taking a look at our next level here, the ST box. This was the Starcoin one. I actually wanted to look at some better stats. There wasn't really good stats over here. So what I did was I went ahead and actually looked up the specs on this unit on Goldshell's site, went over to what to mine under Starcoin, does 13.9, and it's only at 61 watts. So the profitability, this thing is profitable by 8 cents right now at a 10-cent kilowatt. So maybe some still hope for the Starcoin miner. Moving on from there, our handshake box. This is the one that does handshake or Sidecoin. You could go with either direction there if you wanted to. Negative 42 cents. More of a paperweight, unfortunately. The Mini Doge Pro, negative 12 cents. The KD box Pro, negative 37 cents. We're getting up there now. And now let's start to look at some of these bigger box miners, right? So the KD box 2, even worse. Like the new series are worse off than our original ones that came out years ago. Negative 62 cents. We then have the Mini Doge 2. This one's a little bit better at 13 cents, but not, it's negative though. It's not profitable. And then our CK box 2 at negative 56 cents. So I will say, I think I dropped the ball on the SC box 2. I wish I would have had this up and running. And now I know why. Somebody the other day hit me up and was like, hey, do you have one of these? I've never talked about it before. And they were like, oh, I'm interested in purchasing and stuff. And I'm like, oh, well, damn. Myself, I'm like, well, why? Well, because it is profitable per day. Now, granted, 24 cents a day to make back anything around $500, $600 that these go for. It's an eternity, it feels like. Your ROI is pretty much never if you're lucky. But if the market turns, that's really the big difference here with these units. So if the market changes and we start, some people are even saying we're in a bull run right now, and things start to change. I would love to see us in our next bull run get back to where we were with Bitcoin and Ethereum, but I don't know that that's actually going to be a realistic bull run this time. But if we start to go back in that direction, any direction that's up from here, I have a few options. I can get these plugged back in. They're pretty much our older series units. So are they going to be worth it for cents, per day? Or do I end up selling them? That's kind of my thoughts too. I mean, right now, they're not costing me anything right now in my mindset, and maybe I'm wrong. Leave comments down below. Love to hear from you guys. It's like, if the bull run happens next year or two and crypto is still relevant in that regard,
are these worth it? Because I mean, right now, what are you gonna sell these for like $100 maybe? I mean, some of these units, I mean, especially the original mini Doge, to me, it's not worth it. It's better to pack it away for a sunnier day for crypto miners and just and sell them when everything is popping. So that's kind of where I'm at. I think I'm going to get this guy plugged back in though. So huge shout out to Coin Mining Central. Do apologize. Man, I completely overlooked that unit. But yeah, 𝗓𝐶 box 2. I'll leave a link down below. Comments, guys. I want to hear from you guys. If you guys have any of these, what are you doing with them? Did you just sell them? You still got them, packing them away? Are you, are you mining with them? Have you been mining with them? Oh my word, I'd love to know. Leave comments down below, guys. If you enjoyed today's video, give it one of these, and I'll see you guys next time. Take care.
The MeterBox and Octominer are teaming up for another exciting giveaway. Win the latest proof of useful work, Octoserver E10, and 𝑋8 and more. Introducing the limited edition Octominer box set by MeterBox. It includes the 125-volt and 250-volt meter boxes, a special NFT, stickers, and a keychain. Hurry, only 250 box sets available. Visit themeterbox.com now to secure yours today. Purchase the Octominer box set and unlock a secret code for 1,000 entries. Plus, earn an extra 1,000 entries and receive that collectible NFT. Don't miss out. The contest ends July 30th.